We rejoin Genie as he is fleeing through the dark moor, hopelessly lost, but for the moment at least free of the freaky demon children. Eventually dawn arrives, and he finds a place to rest and recover. He awakens and sets off. He comes across a fisherman who gives him directions to the nearest town. So cold, wet and starving Genie trudges towards the town. He manages to reach the town and find an inn, and after filling his belly, getting a decent night's rest, he feels more like himself. He decides to return to Marble Manor, but hires 2 mercenaries first. On the road, they encounter a wagon being attacked by a giant scorpion, and Genie decides to rush to their aid, but falls to the scorpion. But fortunately, his mercenaries manage to fell the beast. He awakens 4 days later in the town of Forest Hill to find his coin purse empty, but the mercenaries waiting. So once more he heads off, even though there is little chance of finding his beloved Fancy. There is one hitch in his plan, though, the fact that he is out of gold, but he manages to convince the mercenaries to continue on by offering his sword. But alas, on the journey they are awkwardly ambushed by kobolds, but despite the kobolds' ineptitude, they manage to quickly down Genie's mercenaries, leaving him no choice but to withdraw from the battlefield. Alive but filled with the shame of being bested by kobolds, Genie returns to Forest Hill with his tail between his legs, contemplating turning to banditry to survive. In town he goes to a Fletcher to buy a crossbow and takes the Fletcher and his 2 friends out of town to test it before he buys. But once a few minutes out, Genie, driven by his need to get vengeance on the kobolds, but not having the funds to do so, goes berserk and starts attacking his companions, slaughtering them all. He returns to the Fletcher's house and finds some gold and quarrels for his new crossbow before resting. He awakes in the dark, well rested and eager to head off to hunt down the kobolds and exact his bloody vengeance. He manages to find the bodies of his ex-mercenaries and follows the trail. Stalking through the forest, he eventually comes across the kobold campsite, who are happily dancing around a bonfire. He wades into the camp and attacking with magic and steel, leaving carnage in his wake, and before he knows it, he is standing in eerie silence, surrounded by bits of kobold and treasure. After filling his pockets with blood-spattered loot, he kneels in the cooling gore and offers a prayer to his new goddess of vengeance, Valfara. He returns to town and gets a room for the night. And the first thing he does when he wakes is to go purchase a horse and rename her Fancy. Next he heads to a small temple to purchase some holy water and a holy symbol for his goddess Valfara in exchange for one of his looted sapphires, which the pagan priest greedily accepts. Where will Genie's lust for vengeance send him next? Will he ever be reunited with Fancy the First? Will he ever learn more about the freaky demon children? Find out next time on Dicing with Death.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death, which is... Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I had not quite fixed the overlays. Ryan, how are you doing on this fine Friday morning / Thursday night?
Doing well. Sorry, I was a few seconds behind, just finishing up the intro there.
Oh, right, of course. Forgot about that.
We're good. I just had both you and Layla talking in my ears at the same time.
Must be beautiful. One in each, maybe?
Yeah. So?
So where are we? Because I didn't get the chance to listen to the
Oh,
recap.
you weren't listening
I
to the
can't when it plays through the
You
when it
mean you
plays through
didn't listen
OBS.
to
I
it ahead of
can't hear
time?
it playing.
All right. So we are in Forest Hill.
Oh, right.
Does
Force.
that just bring back
Oh,
memories?
and vengeance, God of vengeance. Come here, Valthara.
Well, maybe the holy symbol you wound up with, I think, is like more of a one of those dream catchers or something.
Yeah,
You know what those are? Like woven sticks and feathers and things.
yeah. It's kind of like a
Doesn't
cobweb for
doesn't
your dreams,
yeah.
or a cobweb for your mind, or something like that. Where is Genie Salwag? There we go. Oh, Genie.
Have you been streaming much lately? You
Uh,
in your
yeah.
ugly mug, or are you saving up for the marathon stream?
For what?
Saving up your energies.
Oh, no, I've been streaming fairly regularly. We've got a couple of other things going on. I have some projects that I'm saving for the marathon stream, and so lots of outside of activities, setting those up and working on them. My friends got engaged recently, so last night I was at their engagement party, which was fun. And uh, basically lots of streaming. I played through Legacy of the Void. I was pretty
Oh,
happy.
I haven't had a chance to boot that up yet.
Yeah,
What's
I was.
the first impression?
Um, the writing is better than Wings of Liberty, but not as good as Heart of the Swarm, and nowhere near as good as the original or Brood War. Lots of like, every speech I say is an epic speech, and will rouse the people will rouse the firstborn for the next 100,000 years. And then he goes like, talks to some random dude. We're all the greatest Protoss in the world. Look how great we are. And there's like no character development, and you're not attached to anyone. But the gameplay is great.
I will get to that over the holidays, I presume. Too many releases all at once. I'm glad I'm not into the Fallouts. That sounds like
Yeah, I'm not on that train either.
we're about to see a major dip in our GDP.
At least localized GDPs in San Francisco and other large tech areas. So we're in Forest Hill. And what are we doing in here?
You tell me, Jeannie. So I guess I had forgotten about the Kobold massacre that had occurred. You got some lucky dice rolls, and I don't remember if you like stunned half of them and then just proceeded to murder a couple, and it got ugly.
You mean got beautiful?
Got beautiful. Okay, and yeah, you got the diamonds, and you got a new horse, and you got your holy symbol, and whatever else you have added to your character sheet.
Yes,
So,
I
yeah,
believe
you're
they're
basically
sapphires actually, to make a
Yeah.
small adjustment.
Sapphires. Where would kobolds get some sapphires?
That's a very good question.
I don't know. You roll these things up on the table, and then you somehow gotta
You got to figure it out.
defy it in the fictional narrative.
Okay.
Good thing
So,
this isn't Qualmir. You're not going to go hunting out the sapphire mine and
not
milkweed
just not just yet. Genie has grander aspirations than straight cash money. You know, well, maybe not grander, but different. I'm not sure what he really wants out of life, but right now he needs a little bit of revenge.
You're still like level 1 across the board, right?
Yes.
The joys of multi-classing.
Yes.
You got a ton of loot, but you're still quite fragile. Alrighty. So what's Genie up to here in Forest Hill? Like have you got a place at the inn, or are you looking to?
I've got my holy symbol.
You murdered the Fletcher and then just massacred most of the tribe of kobolds.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think Jeannie wants to head to the local tavern.
yeah, I would say
No, I
no
take
one
it
would
back. To
recognize
the
you
local,
then.
the sheriff or constable or whoever's the law in these parts. Ah, oh, that was bitter.
Yeah, there's just like a local. There's like a couple of full-time town guards, like literally like several,
Like they're a pair.
like maybe two or three. You're
Like-
not. I mean, you haven't seen them all lined up in one place.
Like they hold hands when they walk around
Yeah.
the streets.
And you would, I don't know. I mean, you're a noble. You know how these things work. I mean, this town is more or less free from the reaches of. I mean, it doesn't serve any, or it's not the property of any lord, but
Okay.
presumably they have some sort of militia that gets called up if they actually need to bear arms. But there's just a couple of full-time town guards that have a small little shanty, little kiosk.
On my way,
And
on my
South
way
Lake.
to the guard kiosk,
Mhm.
I would like to run into some children. If I don't, I can do this later. But if there are any kids like in the streets on the way to the guards kiosk, let me know.
Yeah, it's a misty day,
Ooh,
but it's not raining, so you're still covered in blood.
what does it sound like?
What does it sound like?
Can you show us what it sounds like?
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. All right. So what was you frightened some children? I mean, I guess,
No, I need to enlist their help if I run into them.
Neil, you're covered in blood, and so you come into town panting, dripping with blood and mud.
This is directly after the kobolds, right? I am kind of
Yeah, roll a charisma check, I suppose.
okay. That sounds very
I
reasonable.
think the scene before the scene that I'm imagining is the children running, screaming from your ghastly visage.
But I'm such a charming motherfucker. Kids, come here. Get over here, kids. Come here.
All right.
And I'm a noble, so I've got like that accent that they can recognize as noble.
Yeah.
and-
All right. You gesture over a couple of street urchins, something along those lines.
I
Feral children.
I open my ceramic jar of bitumen, dump out the existing spiders, and hand the jar to them, because those spiders are dead by now. It's been a while. And hand the jar to one of the kids and say, "Can you go find a spider, put it in this jar, and bring it to me? I'll be at the town guard. There's a couple of copper coins in it for you if you can."
Spiders?
Spider, singular, one.
You want to buy spiders?
I'm going to pay you. I pull out a couple of coins. Pay you spider in jar.
What are you, stupid?
Well, no, but you
Why are
seem
you
to be.
talking so slow? Says the other one.
Oh, fucking kids. All right, I gather my shit up. I ignore them.
Yeah,
And I just,
they get the picture. They I mean,
they pick up on it.
We'll see if they catch you any spiders. But
Okay. Fucking
right.
kids being such jerks to me. Okay. So I head to the constable's office, or the sheriff's. They're not sheriff. The two town guards.
yeah,
I
you
take a moment to like brush myself off and straighten my posture and look kind of a little bit more professional and with it. And I
Okay.
stride into their little kiosk.
Yeah, it's just off the main road, like in the southeast corner of town. It's a small, like one room shack. That, I mean, you approach. The door is currently ajar, and there's a man in studded leather leaning in the doorway, in the middle of a conversation with someone
I
inside. You approach and
I
peer in. You see a small office with a desk and a couple of odds and ends, few weapons and bits of armor strung about.
I
Small,
clear my
cramped
voice loudly before them.
little headquarters. The one in the doorway looks down at you.
My good sir, there are kobolds in the woods, I say, gesturing to the blood on my body.
Well, I'll be. Looking like you found a whole pack.
Yes, there are a few less than there were before, than there were earlier today. Do you know
And kobolds are a
where?
nuisance. Is any of that?
Hmm?
Did they get any people this time?
No, no. This was more of a hunting expedition, if you catch my drift.
Kobolds aren't usually known to hunt man.
But I hunt kobold, which is why I am here. Do you know where they may reside? Where they may hole up?
Genie Salwag, kobold hunter.
Dun dun dun. Like action shots with him and his crossbow.
Yeah. They tend to nest in the caves to the south. They don't stick in one place for long. Occasionally, we gather enough number to shoo them out if they pose too much a nuisance. Crafty little buggers slip into the night and take up in another cave.
Do you know how I could find their cave? Do you have a guide that can take me there?
Roll a guide. Yeah, roll your charisma check again.
27. Gene's got his shit together.
I can show you myself if you're looking to. And he sort of like eyes you up and down to size up if you're serious. I mean,
Yeah, covered in kobold blood.
Like you don't have any armor, right? But you do have. You've got a long sword.
And I might have stumbled while approaching him. I might even be tripping right now in this conversation and falling over.
Okay. Well, but he agrees to show you. He says if you come, I don't know what time of day it would be. When did you murder those kobolds? Was that in the moonlight or?
I think that was in the daylight.
Yeah, I think it's like evening. He says okay. He agrees to show you the next morning.
Excellent.
Walk you down to the caves the next morning.
I make my way to the local. Nope. I look around for those damn kids that have my jar of bitumen.
Oh, you gave them. One of them ran off with the jar. I
Yeah.
didn't gather that. Okay.
Yeah, so they would have something to put the spider in. I'm not gonna ask him to just carry a spider to me. That's inhuman. Genie may kind of be slipping to the dark side a little bit, but he's still, you're not gonna make someone carry a spider in their own hand. That's weird. I look about for clay vial carrying or clay ceramic jar carrying children, street urchins.
Yeah. So what did we establish? Is it getting on towards evening now? Okay,
Yeah.
it's getting on towards evening, and you'll head for the caves in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess do you eventually set up in a tavern for that night?
I do. but I need to find these kids before I set up in the tavern.
Okay, so how do you go about looking for?
Well, I stand here watching and looking around for 2 minutes. If they don't show up by then, I will leave directions with the guards saying that I'm going to stay at the tavern. There are these kids running around with one of my things. They're going to come look in here. Keep an eye out. If you see any kids walking around with a ceramic jar, pull them aside and tell them where I'm going. But I would rather find the kids myself. So, a couple minutes of looking and waiting.
You're keen. Okay, yeah, the guard agrees. He says he'll send him your way and asks where you're staying.
Local tavern, or local inn, if you could point me in the right direction, sir.
All right. Mahoon's down the street is what I'd recommend.
Whom's?
Send the Mahoon's.
Mahoon's.
An M. I'll send the kids your way if they show up.
Thank you, good sir.
As you're walking away, your keen ears hear him saying to his partner, "Those elves are a strange lot."
Oh, that's right. I'm an elf. Well, half elf.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't worry about it.
Alrighty. And you head to the tavern.
Yes, I do.
Mahoon is a short, stout old man with thinning hair and a large mustache.
Hmm.
Seems to be half teetering between the kitchen and the bar of this establishment, serving up drinks and food to a pretty boisterous crowd of rough and tumble, woodsy fellas.
Okay. Well, I directly approached the barman. I am a little tired. I'm a little beat up. I've been kind of wounded. I need to rest and memorize spells. I don't have time for any alcohol. So I approach him and do my best to stand out as a noble.
Yeah. Okay. So you get a dinner and a room for the night.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's 5 silver for a private room, and
Okay, I hand him a gold and do not expect change.
okay. All right. So you sleep. Are you down any HP?
No, actually, I'm not.
Okay. Do you have spells to memorize in the
I
morning?
Do. I get one of each. I think I'm going to take, for kobold hunting, what is the best kobold hunting spell?
Color spray seemed to work out pretty well for you last time.
Yeah, I'm probably going to grab that. I'm looking at cleric spells now. I think I want to do... What can I do to scare off kobolds? Or murder them? Are they vermin? Can I use anti-vermin barrier with kobolds? Field that repels non-magical insects, rodents, spiders, snakes, worms, and similar vermin of less than 1 hit die.
Do you have any proficiency that would like give a spellcraft proficiency? Or
I do not. I have religion, etiquette, heraldry, horseback riding, reading, and writing.
Okay, maybe roll an intelligence at -2 to see if you would know.
Okay.
I mean, I think this is sort of
17. You know, I don't think it would apply.
You're not really sure what would happen. You're not sure if it would work.
I'm not sure, but I don't want to risk it if I'm not sure. They are vermin, but the spell may not.
Is this a priest spell?
This is a priest spell.
I mean, you've heard tell of such things as miracles, right? I mean, conceivably, if you pray hard enough, if you believe all the way to your core that kobolds are vermin, it might work.
They are the vermin of the earth.
Charge into their midst and then
just
conjure your anti-vermin barrier.
Hmm.
Sounds like a great plan.
I don't think so. I'm gonna take me a bless spell. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna take a bless spell for my cleric spell, and for my wizard spell, I'm gonna take another color spray. Actually, I'm gonna take a fire burst. I have.
Ooh. There needs to be a fire going to use that spell, right?
Yeah, in the morning I'm also gonna go grab a torch. Actually, a couple of torches from wherever you buy torches, the general store.
Yeah, there's like a, I don't know, lumber supply co or something like that that outfits the lumberjacks and whatnot. You go there and get your, I don't know.
Forest Hill Lumber and Surplus.
Exactly, yeah.
All right.
Get your various adventuring supplies there.
Cool.
Your rope, your 10-foot poles, your torches, iron weapons.
I ask him to break a gold for me. I just hand him a gold and say, "Would you break this, good sir?"
Yeah, you can get PHB prices for.
Yeah. And then I want to buy.
What were you saying you were asking for?
I want him to just break the gold into sub pieces for me.
Oh, you were getting torches.
Yeah. In fact, I want him to break 2 gold coins. So I want to grab torches. X3.
Are they like a copper a piece or
Yeah.
something?
I want some flint and steel. How much is flint and steel? Like a few copper? A silver, I think. Silver.
You're just making up prices now.
Slightly.
Here's my player's handbook. I'll be right back. It's across the room.
As long as you believe in yourself, any pizza is a personal pizza. Oh, chat.
We're inquiring about flint and steel.
Mm-hmm.
5 silver.
Oh, shit. Okay. I pitch in my 5 silver. And I think that is everything. Wait, what do I need for bless? I need some holy water, don't I? Shit, I need to go back to that fucking shaman. Oh god, I don't have any change. I don't have 25 gold, and I'm not giving him a sapphire for some holy water.
You went through this. Yeah, you went through this before. You got the
I have holy
symbol
water.
for, did you get a holy water?
I got holy water and a holy symbol. Yeah.
I think you traded him a sapphire.
Yeah. Nice. Did those kids ever show up with my spider?
Oh yeah, at some point during the night, the kids would have showed up with some dead spiders in your bitumen.
How many spiders? Dead? Fucking dead spiders?
4 dead spiders.
I slap the kid in the face, actually. And I say, "What is this? I asked for live spiders." I'd snatch my jar back.
Coils.
And
Oh man, that's 4 copper.
Those are not live spiders. You have failed me for the last time. Get out.
Okay. You're gonna regret this. They go grumbling off. That's slapping children.
Yeah.
Thank
Well, I mean, they're
goodness
not real children. They're like street urchins. You know?
Who knows? Okay, so dead spiders and bitumen. Does the spell specify live spiders?
It does. So now I will have to go find myself a live spider. This is a lumberyard. There is a lumberyard. So when I'm at the lumberyard, I go creaking around and inspecting piles of wood, looking for spiders.
Do you have a spiderism proficiency check?
I do not have a spiderism proficiency check. I'm just going to take the first spider I see and hope that it doesn't kill me when I eat it.
Roll like a perception check. Let's go with perception. See if you can find a spider. Or how
20.
natural 20?
No.
Total of 20.
Adjusted 20.
Now it's you wander around the lumberyard for several hours and do not find a spider. Or I don't know how many hours you want to waste, but
Not a lot. Doesn't matter. I'll get it later.
yeah.
I grumble.
Did you memorize spiders?
No,
Spider-
it doesn't matter because I didn't memorize anything. But
Okay, what do you What spells are you memorizing?
I memorized Fire Burst and
Okay, yeah, that's right.
and Bless.
Yeah.
Bless is an expensive spell.
Yeah. That holy water.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you meet up with the town's guard and
Yes, I do.
investigate these caves south of town?
Good man. What is your name?
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew. I am Genie Salwag, or Genie of House Salwag. Let us rid these vermin from our woods.
You have a horse now, don't you?
I do. I am riding my horse. I'm quite the magnificent sight.
Still stained in blood.
Yeah. It'll make them fear me even more.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably need some new clothes and everything.
So he walks you south of town.
Okay.
We need a good forest soundtrack.
Yeah, there's no like lively forest sounds. There's
Yeah. Well, maybe it's kind of blustery today. All right. There's like voices in this.
I can't hear anything.
Or is that my neighbors?
Oh.
All right. So blustery day. You head south from Forest Hill to investigate the caves
Mm-hmm.
with Bartholomew, the town's guard.
Okay.
Do you would make conversation with this guy, or do you just?
I make a little bit of conversation. I mostly talk about kobolds, you know. So tell me, Bartholomew, have these creatures been raiding your town? Have they been a nuisance to your people?
Yeah, you can say that again. Kobolds and nuisance. Like different words for the same thing.
Have they killed anybody?
I have before. Usually travelers on the road.
Well then, it is a good thing that we seek justice, nay, vengeance for our fallen people. Kind of like saddling up and like, our people, our town. Trying to
Mhm.
give myself a little bit of a stronger association with the place.
There's got to be hundreds of kobolds crawling around these hills.
Well,
What exactly are you planning on doing?
I'm planning on killing them.
All of them?
Not all of them at once.
Well, I can walk you to the caves, but I ain't going in.
That's fine.
I won't.
You can stand outside and guard my horse.
Okay. Um, so you go unmolested for several hours. At which point you're sort of traveling down this little gully
Mm-hmm.
in the hills, thick with grass and vegetation and trees. And you round a bend and look up a hillside, and you see these dark gray stone formations in the hills. On closer inspection, you can see a couple of entrances, maybe a dozen or so over the stretch of maybe a couple 100 meters of hillside.
Mm-hmm.
Some large, some small.
Do I recognize what they are?
Caves. They're caves.
Okay, but okay.
A little too flowery.
Um, I
Language.
I asked the guy going with me, "Are these the caves?"
He nods sternly. They connect with there's a whole network of them. He sort of gestures vaguely to the west.
Mm.
They intertwine through the hillsides. Like I said, occasionally they get restless or population booms and they become more of a menace than usual, and we have to round up the militia and drive them back. But they always just roost up somewhere else.
100
Nasty
of them.
little vermin. If only we had a priest to create an anti-vermin barrier to keep them out of the town.
Okay. So I dismount my horse here, leave him in the capable hands of Bartholomew, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So he hangs out in the trees, probably a couple hundred meters off, a couple 100 feet off, many hundreds of feet off.
Okay. And
So,
I
in
make
game
my way.
terms, if shit hits the fan, he'll be a couple of rounds from saving your ass, or he'll be a couple of rounds ahead of you, running away with your horse. And you approach the caves alone.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check.
Doop-a-doop-boo, ba-doop-a-doo, perception check. 28.
Yeah. So as you approach, you sort of round this bend, sort of step out from behind some trees, and sort of just around that bend, and it's not really a path, but it was this sort of like ravine that you were following down. So it's around the bend is Bartholomew and Fancy, and you step out and into full view of these caverns. And start. You take a couple steps towards them before your eyes pick out some movement about.
I stop and try to inspect.
On the top. on the top of the hillside, you spot a couple of forms sort of shifting in bushes and whatnot. It's like small creatures, presumably kobolds. They're not sitting very still.
Are they clustered in a
You
large
catch
group?
one scratch. You spot maybe several, like two or three in the
Hmm.
hill. Apparently keeping watch, but like I said, you were able to spot them. So
So maybe not that great of a watchman.
draw what conclusions you will.
I load a bolt into my crossbow. All right, I still have a crossbow.
Yeah, I think. What are your ranges?
My ranges are not listed. Oh no, players is stuck in here.
Is that in? Do they have ranges in combat and tactics?
They changed all the ranges to be like
Yeah.
battle system ranges instead of cool ranges.
Like PHB says, are you the light crossbow?
Yeah, 70, 140, 210.
Yeah, you're at long range at this point.
They're
So
210 yards.
yeah, more
Okay.
than. Oh, maybe even more than that. Yeah, they're
Hmm,
further. They're outside of your maximum range.
okay.
You can barely make like you couldn't make a shot at them. You can barely even make out that there's a thing up in that bush. It's just a little small sized critter that you can only assume is a kobold scratching its ass in the in the bushes on the top of the hills.
Hmm. Okay. I would like to get a little bit closer, but I'm not the most quiet fella. I know that.
You're not wearing armor, are you?
No, but I have 5 decks. I'm gonna step on something or trip over something. You know,
Okay. So how do you approach? Do you approach these hills head on, or are you going to try and like cut through the woods to?
I would like to cut through the woods and kind of approach in a roundabout way.
Okay. Yeah, roll like a strength check to try. I mean, because the woods sort of curve up the backside of this hill.
Hmm.
So the terrain's thicker and the brush is thicker and the grade is steeper. So
Okay. Strength check. 23.
maybe even climbing with bonuses might have been appropriate as well, but that's fine. You're able to trudge up this hill through the woods. Um, don't notice any kobolds. I mean, you lose sight of them once you step in through the trees. It takes longer than you would have expected. Maybe like half an hour of climbing up this. I guess like the backside of this hill.
Hmm.
And you position yourself sort of up and coming around the back of the ridge. You assume the caverns to be just in front of you,
Hmm.
and sort of somewhere along these bushes here is where you think you saw those kobolds. If they didn't hear you and reposition, you should be popping up behind them, but you're not too sure.
Okay. I'm gonna take my time at this point and move pretty slowly, keeping my eye out for scummy kobolds.
Yeah, roll a perception check.
23.
Yeah, you spot one of the little buggers in a bush, maybe 100 meters in front of you, basically at the edge of the cliff.
Which direction is he facing?
He's in this bush, looking out over the cliff,
Is that away from me or towards me?
away from you. So his back is to you.
Right,
You
okay.
like circled.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure. It was the expectation. All right, loading the crossbow bolt once more. I aim a back attack shot at the kobold. take a moment, catch my breath, and let loose.
Roll to hit.
It's at medium range. You said 100 yards?
Yes, 100 yards. 100. I said 100 meters. We can just make it 100 yards.
Yeah.
So I don't think it actually matters.
So that's
range.
plus 2 for back attack, minus 2 for range.
Surprise. So plus
1 for surprise. Okay. 6. An utter failure.
Your bolt just goes sailing off the edge of the cliff. You overshoot. The kobold doesn't even seem to notice.
I look around. Okay. Got lucky at that time. Alright, let's reload. Velthara. Guide my bolt. We will have vengeance for those people in town. Bella, may your
the people in town that
influence
you murdered.
Yeah, they murdered my buddies and stole my stuff, you know?
So much murder.
Alright, I aim a second shot. 15. There we go. That's what I like to see. So that should be backstab, so 2d6 plus 2.
Yeah, you can just which
damage.
part of this kobold did you impale?
I'd like to pin his chest to the dirt.
Okay, so you arc the bolt up and over, and it like comes at him from above and just pins him to the ground. He's
Fantastic.
dead. But he lets out a pretty horrific and proceeds to wail for another like 5 or 10 seconds before he ultimately bleeds out.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I load another bolt and look for my next target.
Roll a perception check.
Oh, adjusted 20.
No. You see nothing around, but you can't imagine that there's anything in these woods that didn't hear that kobold die.
Yeah. Well, I keep my crossbow loaded. And the caves are beneath me.
Yes.
Okay. I want to make my way all the way to the cliff edge then and look down. See, and just kind of wait. I'm going to spend, I want to say 2 rounds waiting and looking, and then I will fire upon whatever I see.
So you climb to like the edge of this, it's a cliff basically,
Mhm.
and you look down and there's these rock formations below with caves of various sizes protruding from the rock face. It's pretty sheer. You'd have to climb down if you wanted to get down, and some of the caves are accessible from ground level.
Well-
You roll another perception check.
I am content not to go down quite yet. Ooh,
Oh,
natural
you're not a
one.
rogue. How did you get backstabbed? You still killed the kobold, but you.
I'm not a rogue? I am not a rogue.
What the fuck are you trying to pull on me?
I just thought I was a rogue, you know?
You're the worst kind of player.
Or am I?
First you're trying to cheat me out of my NPC's gold, or cheat my NPCs out of gold. Now you're changing classes. Yeah, you don't spot anything. You're peering off this precipice, scanning the hillside. You see no other signs of life.
All right. Well,
Your
then,
heart's still pumping in your chest. That kobold did not die quietly.
if they aren't going to come to me, I will have to go to them. You say a climbing check to get down the cliff face?
if you want to go straight down, if you don't mind which entrance you go in, you might be able to access one if you go a little ways down the hills. But
I would like to. If I climb down here, I'm going to be in between a few caves, right?
yeah, there's like one at ground level, maybe 50 meters over. The total height is maybe like 30 or 40 meters, like
I'm gonna
nearly 100 foot drop off the.
I'm gonna go down the hill a little bit. I'd like to approach the caves from one side. I don't want to kind of like show up in the middle of them. You know, I'd like to come from the edge, minimize my risk of being surrounded without noticing.
I'm not following. So you're looking down basically off a cliff, and there's caves built in below you. So and you just climbed like up and around the hill off to your left is like that wooded path that you used.
Yeah, I climbed up and around, got one kobold that didn't work out like I was expecting it to, so I'm going to go back down and approach from ground level. I was hoping I might be able to get a few of them from up here, but it didn't work out.
Okay, so you spent another like 45 minutes hiking out and around.
Yeah, it's not graceful.
Yeah. Roll another perception check.
Oh god. 27.
Yeah. So as you're walking down this mountain, you spot some movements off to your right, and you catch through the brush a couple of these diminutive humanoids slinking their way into position. Like they look like they're scurrying around trees and like trying to keep their eyes on you.
It's payback time.
They look like they think they're stealthier than they are.
I load my crossbow once more and take a shot. I'm a ranger. My hated enemies are kobolds, so I should get like a +4 to hit them.
Yeah, +4 sounds about right.
Okay. At what range are these monstrous beasts?
You notice them only about 30 meters out.
Perfect. They are short range.
They're. You spot at least 3 looking in your general direction.
Mm-hmm.
And you doubt you'll catch them by surprise. They seem like they're stalking you through the.
Like they're stalking me.
Yeah.
Oh shit. How many did you say there were?
You see 3, but they're sort of moving. You lost sight of. Now you can only see 2. So.
Yeah, I shoot right away with my crossbow. No more waiting.
You can get a free shot off, but it's not. They aren't surprised. They're looking right at you, and they just weren't.
7. That is a miss.
And with a whiff, we roll for initiative.
And the sword comes out.
They are actually quite a bit slower than you.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably were more coming from behind, but they had sort of been creeping up behind you as you were running down the hill.
Okay.
So I think you turned around and shot at their faces.
Nice. Okay. I draw my sword.
Yeah,
I need to roll initiative, actually.
Mm-hmm.
D10 plus... Bastard sword is slow. No, it's not. It's 6. Okay. Oops. That's a 9 total.
9 total. Oh, buggers are size small. Is a small medium is 3 weapon speed, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still go first.
Oh.
Having been spotted, they dive for cover. So you actually lose sight of both of these kobolds as they take cover behind trees, one in a bush.
All right. Well,
So
I
you have
will.
line of sight.
I've already got my sword out. I'll just move in. Sword in hand, shield in the other hand, or strapped to the other arm. I move towards the bush, clanging my sword on my shield, saying, "Kobolds, come out and play!"
All right. How far do you walk? Sorry.
I go all the way to the bush. If it's 30 yards, I can make it in a round and make an attack.
Okay. So you stride right up to this bush.
Hmm.
And you can make your attack if you want. There's a little kobold sort of peering up at you through the foliage, sort of parts some branches aside as you bring your sword
16.
crashing down atop him. Roll for damage, but it doesn't actually matter.
7.
And roll initiative again. So you cleave this kobold in twain that's peering up out of the twigs.
10.
But before you have time to look up, there's some screeches. As yikes. What's your AC?
12.
12. 19. Is that a crit?
It is a
That's
crit.
No. You're actually gonna have to get pretty lucky to
To not die.
not die in one shot.
If they do, yeah, they have to roll 1s.
Yeah, so there's a 2, so you're already unconscious, and a 3.
Oof. Is that the end of
I
Genie?
think so. Whoops. I think I killed you.
I think you just killed me, which,
Bop.
yeah. Well,
That was
that,
a little abrupt.
well, I knew that going into it. Damn it, I was really, okay.
Yeah.
It's that 5
That's
decks,
shitty.
man. That 5 decks.
Yeah, if you yeah.
19.
Would that have not crit? If I think you would a 19 not have crit if you were if you didn't have 5 decks?
No, then it would have had 14 AC. It just would have been a crit.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
Well, sorry about that. I wasn't expecting that, but level 1 character with 3 HP, the variance is real.
yeah. Yeah. Well, why don't we take a break and we'll come back to you guys and see what's going to happen in a few moments. Bye-bye. If I can find the screen.